Hi everyone. Welcome to Tab with CHRICED, the Accountability Banter. And today we are going to be having a special discussion, our premier discussion actually, in celebration of the International Day of the Girl Child. We are going to be talking about the harsh realities that girl children face all over the world, our own experiences, and call to action, for the general public, and you guys that will be listening to us. So with me here, I have
Falilat.
Hi Falilat,
Hi,
welcome to Tab. And
Alexandra.
Welcome Alexandra and
Thank
Falilat.
you,
I hope that
thank
we are
you.
going to have a awesome discussion today on a very important topic. I mean, we are girl children and so we know what we are talking about. But before we get into the deep conversations, tell me one experience or one dream or aspiration that you had as a girl child. We had some weird and embarrassing girl children. I had girls' children, and we talk about the kind of gowns they wanted to wear, the crown they wanted to put on their head for weddings and all of that. So tell me, what's yours? Falilat.
Alex is so excited, like she wants to go
Tell us yours.
Can't wait to let it out.
Okay,
Please
so
go first.
when I was a child,
Right.
I really wanted like a military wedding.
Military wedding.
Yes, I was
You
in
don't
love
say.
with any military man I see, as long as you're putting on that.
Wait, let me cut it short. Is it the wedding or the marriage?
The wedding.
And
After
what
the wedding,
happens after the wedding?
I will pack my things back to my father's house.
Oh, shit.
The Lulu won't wonder. What was exciting about the wedding for you?
You know, all the swans.
I mean,
that crossing.
Yes, the uniform.
the guys,
Yeah.
all the shapra things.
And then they will salute you.
Exactly,
Oshe.
as Oga wife.
Right.
Yeah.
But we know now that that's the Lulu, right?
It's not the Solulu.
Falilat.
Well, growing up as a child, I used to listen to this network news,
Okay.
and I loved the way Sirius Toba used to present his news.
Yeah.
Fumiko Ka, Becky,
Right.
Madujemu, and to mention but a few. So I've always told my parents that I want to be a broadcaster. My dad was
Right.
like, it will fit you, but you talk too much, it will fit you. So they try as much as possible to encourage me. Even when I wrote my job, I put mass com first, mass com second. If there was third options, if there was 10th option, I would put mass com
You were
first.
so
Yes,
sure.
I was
Yes.
so sure what I wanted to do.
That's amazing.
And I went to school, I studied mass communication. And they
Lucky woman,
actually
right?
I know.
encouraged me. That's one thing about my parents. If you say you want to do this, even you want to be a bricklayer, as long as that bricklaying, you can study it in school.
Being the
Not in
action
some-
word.
Yes.
Emphasis on the
Emphasis on
school.
school.
Yes.
On school, yes. They will support you.
You have solid
You
parents,
must go to
so.
school and show the certificate from a prestigious school that you actually studied hairdressing or bricklaying.
I mean, that's the way forward for.
You need to
every
tell
girl
us.
child.
We need to interview your parents.
Yes,
You
we
need to
should.
interview your mom on this
Yes.
show. Let her tell us what they
Yes,
knew that
I'm telling
some
you,
parents
I'm telling
did
you,
not
my
know.
parents were the best. My parents were the best.
know, right?
Growing up, I feel so lucky to have them.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
My parents were the best too, thanks.
I mean, my
My
parents were the best.
So if our parents are the best,
Who are
the
who are
bad
those
parents?
that were forcing their children to don't study law, study medicine against their own will?
I feel attacked, but let's move on. so personally, I think for me, I wanted to be a lawyer. And as much as I feel like I liked advocating, one of the reasons that is the Lulu part of studying that law was the wig. I wanted to be like some Ganifa when kind of thing. I rise up like this and I speak, everybody's listening because now I can fight for justice.
Yes.
But guess what I read, guys?
Tell us.
Just take it.
Tell us.
I read biochemistry. Oh my god, it's so funny. But
I mean,
I'm sure that children, girls across the world, all have their dreams, and we genuinely hope that our girl children all over the world are not robbed of their dreams and aspirations.
Yeah.
And they have people that are guiding them, if those dreams are delulu, like some of our dreams, they are guiding them to make the right choices.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your experiences, ladies. So as we celebrate the International Day of the Girl Child, we've laughed, but it's important to reflect on some of the harsh realities that the girl child face across the world. I'm going to be reading some statistics from UNESCO. Did you know that 130 million girls around the world are out of school? And that's the equivalent of the entire population of like a country like Ethiopia or Mexico.
Yeah.
Every 10 minutes, somewhere in the world, a girl dies as a result of violence. And 12 million girls are married before the age of 18 each year.
That's so bad.
In fact, that's
Sad.
23 girls
That's
every
sad.
minute that are being robbed of their childhood and
Yeah.
their dreams. Like, look at us, we can talk about our childhood. Some girls,
And we can laugh
and we
about
can
it.
even laugh about it. Some girls have been robbed of all that Delulu zone completely because of the experiences, the harsh experiences they have to face. And that's not even all. If you want to bring it closer to home here in Nigeria, 10.5 million Nigerian children are currently out of school. As if that is not bad enough, 60% of them are girls. And in the northern parts of Nigeria, 43% of girls are married before their 18th birthday. And that's almost half of all young girls being forced into marriage before they're even ready to make decisions for themselves. What was it like before you were 18? I know before I was 18, I was a mess. Like, literally, I mean, my mom still had to do a lot of things for me. Whenever we're going out on Sundays, my mom will have to, because I would not know where I might not know where I dropped something, and my mom will still have to come and dress me. Now, imagine being married at that
18.
age.
At 18.
At
Even
18,
at
before
my
18,
big age,
ladies.
even at my big age, I'm still scared of getting pregnant.
Yes.
I mean, 18, I was just... What was I doing at 18? I was still running around the neighborhood with my friends.
Imagine.
At 18.
You know, some parents say they wait for their daughters to see their first menstrual cycle in the house, and they tell you that the second menstrual cycle you go and see it in your husband's house, whether you have started having breasts or not. As long as you have seen that first menstrual cycle, the second one you have seen it in your husband's house. When I saw my first menstrual cycle, I died and woke up.
I can imagine.
I did not know what to do.
I,
Do you know?
I can imagine.
Let me share this embarrassing story with you guys, because I've never told anyone, but thinking about it, I felt really, really stupid, because I watched this home video where a woman was having a miscarriage.
Yeah.
So I went to the ladies to use the restroom, and I saw blood. And the next thing I started weeping that I'm having a miscarriage.
Like you got pregnant in the first place.
Oh my God! I did not know how pregnancy comes about, but I just believe that, oh my God, I'm having a miscarriage. What am I going to tell my parents? You know, I thought.
Excuse me, what are you miscarrying?
I dare ask, please.
The pain that was out of this world, I had to bear it and cover up for my. I did not let my parents to know that I was having my period. What did I know about period? When they teach us period in school, menstrual cycle, see, I just cram it. I see some girls in class, they will run out and go and laugh, and me, I'll just be like, what's going on? And we just have to read it and pass exam until I started experiencing it. Do you know, for that 4 days I saw that period, nobody knew. I took care of myself until the second. Imagine after that first period, they're taking me to my husband's house.
I mean,
I know what to do.
That's so sad.
I was a mess.
Yes.
I didn't even know how to take care of myself. No talk of getting pregnant at that age. It's sad.
and you know, it is not even just about the numbers or the harsh realities or the statistics. It's actually about the futures that are being stolen.
Yeah.
The number of girls that are being robbed of their life, of their dreams, of their childhood. It is terrible.
It is.
It is terrible.
Very terrible.
You know, the funny thing is, I personally, I used to be a very big advocate of the girl child, you know. In fact, tilting towards the extremes of being a feminist and fighting and fighting against it, because, and for a right reason, to be honest, maybe just the wrong way. I saw girls being maltreated.
Yeah.
I saw girls being, you know, that did not even know what they wanted because of the type of childhood that they had. I saw girls that were being molested, violated, you know, domestic violence and all that. And I felt like, you know what, we need to fight. But as I started to grow up, just recently I finished a course, and we're discussing about the rights of a woman, because obviously we're learning how to govern. And part of the things we had to discuss was the girl child, and then women generally in politics, in governance, and in leadership positions.
Yeah.
And so over that particular curriculum, we're discussing women's rights, girl child's rights. And so by the 4th to 5th day of that conversation, I was like, it's okay. Is enough. We self and even the ladies, the guys in the class were already like, is enough. It's always about women, girls. Who is talking about us? And even me, that used to be such a big advocate for the girl child, I'm like, hope this thing is not a lot. But I realized actually that it is not a lot.
You talk about it a lot, but there's no action.
The reason is, the fact is, many times a lot of us are even talking out of sentiments. Actually, data shows that women, the girl child, is still at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
And that is the truth. I just read some statistics for you now. Ladies, out of all the children that are out of school, 60% of them now, I'm talking about in Nigeria, are still girls. Yeah. And it means that this conversation still needs to be had. We still have to discuss these things. We still have to discuss how we want to move forward, how we want to get better, and we also need to share our experiences for people to know that we are not just speculating or trying to raise dust. It is the truth. Yeah. Girls are still being marginalized, and that's going to take us into this section of our conversation where I just want us to have true conversations as regards, things that has happened to us, experiences that we've had, and we know that it is the girl factor. When we say we don't want Nigeria to happen to you,
Nigeria never
happen to you. Yes, maybe a girl child never happened to you. And so we will need to discuss that. We need to know. I want to listen to you, and I want us to also, talk to our viewers and people that will be listening to us. We want them to see that we are not just beating her. We are not just trying to, create a non-existent issue. Yeah. This issue is existent. We have faced some things, and we know that even if we open this up to people, there are a lot of people that have also faced similar experiences just because they are girl children. So, Alexandra, talk to us.
So, there was a day I was traveling, and I think I was one among the first people to get to the park, and then I paid for my seat, and I asked the driver, where should I sit? And then he said, sit anywhere. You're the first person, so you can sit anywhere. Mm-hmm. So I sat in front of the car because I felt, that was a comfortable seat. So I sat in front. And then after like some seconds, a man came. Madam, go back seat to front seat now for men.
Excuse you?
Yes, in my head I was like, really? In fact, I asked him, I said, what did you say? He said, you go back to, go and sit behind. The front seat is for men. And I told him, no, I'm not going anywhere. I paid for the seat and I'm going to sit on this seat. I mean, that was so not nice to say. Like,
that was
I think they felt that.
Look at how shocked I am, because
I was
in 2024, people are still saying
yes.
That reminds me of something that happened years back. My younger brother, I was still in school. My younger brother, we were both in school. So my younger brother wanted to visit the dentist. So he came to my hostel, was like, accompany me to see the dentist. I want to do this scaling and polishing. So he had 5,000 naira.
Okay.
So when we got to the hospital, I think the doctor was a lady, a matured woman. She thought I was the one paying. So she said that the money is actually 7,000 naira. So I was begging her that, ma, please, can you just do it for 5,000 where we are? She saw us that we were students. So there was one baba with no front teeth that sat there and was listening to us. Do you know what this baba said? He said, fine girl like you get 7,000. And immediately the lady doctor shushed him.
Fine girl like you. What do you mean?
What are you sending
exactly?
her?
What do you mean?
Fine girl like
this
you.
This is a student. What are you sending her to go and do? She said, my brother, sit down. My son, sit down. Let me do it for you. And do you know that lady did it for him free?
Oh, that's so nice.
Did it for him free and said we should use the money and transport back.
Hey.
That Baba, I don't like it at all.
Baba,
I don't like it at all.
Fine girl like you.
You see me in my school days.
Are you
No, look at me. And see me. Remember my school days? How I was then. I was
very small.
I was small. They are saying fine girl like me, I cannot afford 7,000. It's disheartening. Listen to all those things coming from elderly people, somebody that is supposed to protect me.
Somebody that is supposed to be like a father
a father figure that is supposed to say, okay, my daughter, let me add it 2K, or where did you even come? Why are you holding 5K? Who gave you this money? Question the source of that money, because we're small.
The funny thing is, so many minute things like that still point out how much help we need as a country, as a continent, and even all over the world. Because if we look at last month, there were a lot of conversations around rape, if you guys listened.
And death.
Yes. I mean, there was that conversation where ladies are like, we are not protected. We are walking on the road, and then you're afraid if a guy is coming at night, you're afraid to walk that road because you don't know if you are going to be mugged, you don't know if you are going to be raped, you don't know what is going to happen to you in the next minute. The lady that was the recipient of that, or the victim of that crime of rape last month, a doctor, she was raped at her workplace.
Yes,
and even beyond all those situations, look at the expectations that you are just sexist. You are just you're just
why did you wear such dress? Why are you looking that way?
What were you doing
at
his
that
house?
hour? This one self was even raped in her workplace.
Can you imagine?
Imagine the comment section. They were saying, "What are you doing out at that
hour?
In her workplace.
Like,
what are you doing in a men's conference? Men's room, whatever. Why were you dressed that way in her workplace?"
And aside from all those sad realities, there are even more. Coming down to rights, coming down to what a lady is allowed to do. Statistics show that when you make a call for roles, when you make can you apply to get a particular role, and then they say there is the chairman role, or say the chairperson role, and then there is the vice role, or like the general secretary and the assistant general secretary. The ladies, data shows that more ladies would go for the assistant general secretary role or the vice role, and then more men go for the head of that particular the head position, maybe the chair or the head or something. And it is sad that it's already ingrained in our minds as girls that there are some things that you cannot do.
For a man. Yes. And if eventually you get
this, any mistake you make like this,
no, it's not even a mistake, and you get to that position with your own knowledge of what you
they would say you
she has made her way up. Yes. She paved her way up with her body.
And even
like, I cannot be smart.
And even in addition,
I am not allowed
to shine
because I am a lady.
I can't be intelligent. I can't lead because I'm a lady. I cannot get to that position without using my body because I'm a lady.
And the very funny thing is, aside from that if a lady gets to a position like that, and then she does the smallest things. I mean, I listened to a talk by Chimamanda Adichie, and she was saying, we need women. Half of the world's population are women. Are ladies, right? Mm-hmm. And we need their perspective to make the world run. And then she was now saying, anytime a woman makes a very small mistake like this, they'll say, we said it.
I mean,
didn't we say? But men are there making mistakes every day.
I mean, let's not even go far. Imagine a man driving a car, and then a lady is driving, and maybe something happens with the car in front of. The next thing you hear is, "I'm sure that car is a lady that is driving it."
It's not because it's a lady that is driving it. You come and say, "Why did you smash my car?" The man be like, "Oh, it's even a lady. Say, if you want to talk to me, go and buy your car." It's not one alleged that bought you the car. Really?
You
cannot buy a car with your money. It's because your boyfriend bought you a car, that's why you can stand here and talk to me anyhow. It's because one stupid allergy bought you a car, that's why you can.
And I'm like, really?
Sad.
Very sad.
I even had and you would think that it is only the uneducated or illiterate people that are actually doing this. You would even realize that the elites are also part of it. Educated people, similarly educated people are also part of those that are contributing to this. I mean, I spoke with someone sometimes, I think 2 years ago, and then he was talking to me about how he would not normally vote a woman for an executive role because he just does not feel like he can submit to a woman, and he also does not feel like a woman can lead him. And these are the situations. These are the issues. We can feel these issues. They are close home. We understand them. These conversations are not just we are not just holding on to what is not happening. These things are happening, and we need solutions. Now, this is going to lead us into another section of this conversation, and that is the actual barriers that are facing girls today. Now, education. One of the biggest barriers to girls' future is actually the lack of access to quality education. And education is not just a right, it is a lifeline for girls. Yet, millions of girls, especially in Nigeria, are denied this right. We just talked about the statistics earlier. The reasons are varied. Poverty, most times, in most families, I've heard stories where they would say the brother, a family, maybe the father went out of job, got fired, or the mother, and then they have to decide which of their children will go to school. They will not tell the girl that
You have to wait
let
for
your
your
brother.
brother.
In fact, my grandma was, like, my grandmother was actually, she experienced this, where she had to wait. She didn't eventually finish anyway. She couldn't go to uni, and her brother is a professor now.
Oh, wow.
Because he went to school. They sent him to one of the best boarding schools then, and they sent him to the university. He's a professor at Unilag, while she ended up being a typist. And she had to do that because they believed that it was a better, option for her, and a better option for them to send the guy to school and for her to stay at home, because obviously she's going to end up in a man's kitchen.
Exactly.
And in Nigeria's rural areas, girls are far less likely to attend secondary school, and even if they do, many drop out before completing their studies. Now, this is an issue. Education is an issue.
But I think the environment in that this education matters a lot. The environment where the girl child grew up from, it matters a lot. I want to give you an example. When we just retired to the village, my dad is an advocate of education. So when we got to that village, they only educate their girl children to primary 6. After primary 6, think of a business to do until a man, something to be helping in the house, not a business that you go out to, something to be helping with in the house until a man comes to ask for your hand in marriage. So many of these fathers, they came to my dad, was like, why are you sending your girl children to school? Because they will end up in a man's kitchen. They are going to bear a man's name. My father never listened to them. So when they live like this, my father is this person that is a friend to us, who is easily accessible. So it tells us what that person came to say, what this one came to do, and you get. Then, seeing us in the village, the way we were different from other kids, they started educating their children to secondary school level. From secondary school level, you have to wait to get married. Then from secondary school level, now they go to university.
Because they saw a good example.
They saw a good example. They saw how that man's children were, look at them. They can speak English. Look at them. They are educated. I want you to be like them. I want you to be like this. You get? Now, they will farm and make sure that both boys and girls, they go to school.
And that is a good narrative. It's one of the good narratives that we have. And it's also why I think that some of the issues that we face as women it's a culture thing. And if we are able to change, if there is a culture shift where women are also allowed to thrive, where girls are educated and allowed to dream and soar, it's going to be a good outcome for all of us. Now, in addition to the education issue, we'll just briefly touch on menstrual health. And the issue of pads and all. In the rural areas, one of the contributing factor to girls not going to school is actually because they don't have access to pads.
That's very true. And when they are on their periods, you can't be seen outside because they don't have knowledge of pads, and so you don't have anything to protect you from leakage when you go out. So they decide to just stay at home.
They don't even have access to the pads because I was a part of a campaign some months back, and the campaign was to pad a girl. So they were talking about reusable pads that these girls can wash and then use again. Why? Because they don't have access to pads.
Exactly.
They actually don't have. So I even heard that these girls would sleep with boys. 12-year-old girls, 11, 12, 13, so that those guys will give them money that they can use to buy pad so that they can go to school. And they said that is the trend. because those boys farm and they're already selling. Some of them are already doing some work, so they have money. And then those boys will give them 500, 1,000.
And the country itself is not, the economy of the country is not even helping. You can hardly get a pad of 500 naira.
Yes. Before, pad used to be 250.
Always used to be 250.
100, 150 lady care.
I remember.
But now, you hardly see
A
pad
pad
of
500.
800. What, you're still
And
calling
you expect
500?
a girl, a child in the rural
800.
area to have 800 to buy pad.
I feel like we need to see pads as, when you talk about your period, it's almost like it's a disease. And then, in fact, I had a friend that told me yesterday that anytime she wants to get out of any uncomfortable position, she's just going to say, I'm on my period. And then they'll just look at her like
she please
get
leave,
out.
leave.
And we need to see that this is if you are a girl, it's a normal part of a girl's life. Offices, just like you have toilet rolls, offices should have pads.
Yeah.
Business centers should have a stash for pads, because this is a normal thing that ladies face.
Any small, even if it's a small office, you enter the restroom, you see tissue.
I mean,
why is there pads?
Why are there?
Is it that women don't use the restroom as well, or women don't work in that
You should have pads.
You should have pads.
Go to any office, you should be able to see a stash there that you can use, because you can see your period anytime. You're a woman, and it's not supposed to be an embarrassing thing where you're like, I'm staying, and then you're
trying to cover yourself. Even sometimes even when you're stained, and you be like, I have to wait for people to leave before I
get
go.
Up.
Yeah.
And those things are issues, and it's even worse when it's affecting. I mean, we are ladies now, we are grown, and we can still maneuver our way. But there's some girl children that are still, at a disadvantage because of this. Now we need to run along fast. Another issue is violence and discrimination. 1 in 4 girls globally experiences physical or sexual violence before the age of 18.
True.
This is according to UN Women.
Yeah, that is true.
And that blows my mind. 1 in 4. There was a conversation that was being made, and somebody was asking that he actually does not think that there is any girl that has not been sexually harassed. That has not been harassed actually all through her life.
Yeah.
You might not have been
raped.
Hidden
But secrets that we don't want to tell anyone growing up.
Yes,
we don't want to tell anybody growing up. That it's not as if they're embarrassing, no, but it has passed. It's something you don't even want to open up because of because of stigmatization. You don't want them to laugh at you.
Or sometimes because you don't want to spoil the relationship. You think that your dad has with his friends. Because most of the times, the men our dad called friends, they come to the house and try to molest us in the house.
But you want
and then you don't
girls
tell your dad.
You feel the way my dad speak about this person, will he believe me?
Exactly.
And it's either you think your parents will not believe you because of the way they hold that person to high esteem, or because you don't want to sever that relationship with them. And it is so most of this molestation happens in your own house.
It does.
You don't have to go out to get molested. It will happen there was a case of this Anambra man that during the lockdown period, he slept with his 3 daughters. He said his excuse was that there was no way for him to go out and carry on the show, and he had no wife.
I actually heard that story, and a lot of girls are facing this all over the world.
Yeah.
Their brothers are molesting them. Their friends are molesting them. Their fathers that are supposed to be protectors, that are supposed to protect them, from shield them from the wickedness of the world, are molesting them too. And the worst part, you then grow up and you feel like, now I'm grown, I'm a woman, I don't have to go through this anymore. But your husband is beating you. So girls are being molested, women are being violated.
Women are being violated. I think there is this thing called marital rape. But we don't talk about
that conversation.
I think we should have this conversation.
Can you see your husband raped you?
We say
Madam, go home and go and settle this case. How can you say your husband raped you?
If we start that conversation, I'm sure we're not going to leave here.
No, because we will. So I think we should leave this.
One of my friends that studied law did it as our thesis, our final year project, and we discussed it. In fact, we can't go there, guys. Ladies, we need to move on.
Yes, please.
And then we have the technology gap. In today's digital age, access to technology is essential, for education and career advancements. Yet, girls in rural areas mostly do not have access to this. Only 30% of STEM professionals, and when we talk about STEM, science, technology, I can't remember the E and M now, but I hope to remember engineering and mathematics. And STEM professionals are when you talk about the skills, the arts core skills that earn you a lot of money.
Yeah.
They are mostly STEM professionals, the tech guys, the engineering folk. If when you want to say tech, you mostly don't say tech. You mostly want to say a tech guy, a tech bro, because
he's just tech bro.
Tech bro. And in countries like Nigeria, now when I talk about 30% of STEM professionals being women, I mean across the world. And in Nigeria, it's even so. So, for example, when you think about a guy, or you think about any professional that codes, so when they're talking about website developers or they're talking about programmers, you immediately already think of a guy.
Okay.
Exactly. And even when you see positions like that or job advertisements online, mostly they state it that they want a guy.
Yeah.
But I like it now that we're now having women in tech.
We need more.
Yes, we need more.
We need our girls to be exposed. See, the problem is, while the boys are already able to use their computers, where they're already learning, the girls are doing house chores, are learning how to knit, are learning how to weave, how to make hair. So I remember having friends, guy friends that were already on the computer since when we were in primary school, secondary school. They were already learning coding. They were already learning those things. We were learning loom, using rubber band to make.
Or is that rubber baby that you put and trying to learn how to plait
the hair? And it's not like those things are bad. It's just that even the girls that showed interest already mostly were not allowed to do those things because leave it for the boys. So we need more infusion or exposing our girls. We need to expose our girls to technology. We need to make technology available for them. It's also one of the things that will be helpful. We need to encourage girls that are interested in being, that wants to be engineers. It's okay to be an engineer as a girl. We need to normalize these conversations. You want to be an engineer, you can be an engineer. You want to be a website developer, you can, and we make resources available for them.
I think if a lady is doing that job that they kept for the men, they will patronize them the more. Imagine I go to a salon and I see guys and I see a guy and a girl making hair. I will probably choose the guy to make my hair
because you feel like
you'll be curious. You want to see what he can do.
What he can do.
Yeah,
but most of them can even do better. Not all of them. They can do well. Then there's this my friend that studied engineering. She couldn't get a job after NYSC, but she was going to door to fix people's generator. Like, sir, I came to fix a generator. Be like, you? Okay. Let me see what you can do. Let me see what you can do. She just put her on her overall, and before you say Jack, that's networking. They were calling her
because
the people around there were now calling her. She graduated from that one and was trying repairing their cars and everything.
Yeah.
They will even prefer her because she's a lady.
Yeah.
But most of them now, why she stopped that work was that she went to somebody's house. They called, come and fix my generator, and the man be like, this is your backside, this is your this, this is your that. Wanted to sleep with her before giving her the job. The job that she will do and you will pay her, you want to have sex with her first.
And it happens in different industries, really. Of course, we are still talking about the tech industry, but across board, you come in and you're already seen as something to satisfy a man or an
instrument of satisfaction.
Exactly, thank you. An instrument of satisfaction. Your skills, your knowledge base is no longer important. You just need to settle. And those are the things we need to talk about because one of the reasons why concepts like DEI, like Jesse, are very pronounced now, and they say look at things through gender lens, diversity lens, equity lens, inclusion lens, and it's because you cannot know what another person is going through if you
Yeah.
are not in their shoes.
Exactly.
And you cannot be in everybody's shoes. And that is why we need people in different positions to be able to be at the table so that they can give us their own perspective and their own, based off of what they've experienced. They can tell us what to do and how we can be considerate and inclusive of them. And that is why, ladies, these conversations, we have to have it.
Yes.
We have to have them. We need to discuss what we are facing and how we think that we can be helped, so that we can have a more, friendly environment.
Of course.
Of course, for women, and an environment where we can thrive. So now we're going to be talking about solutions. We've talked about the problems that we face. We've talked about our personal experiences. And there are many local and global efforts that are now targeted towards girls. But the conversation is, how effective are they? Earlier on, we talked about the age of, ladies getting married. Actually, there are laws to protect them. We have laws that are already, of course,
There are laws, but the problem is if
the
they are being
enforcement
enforced.
Yes.
of those laws.
Those laws, exactly.
Because when you go to our constitution, we actually see there that in section 29, subsection 3 and 4, where you talk about the age that you now become an adult, ladies or girls are still deemed adults when they are married. So they say when
If you are married,
if
at
you
the
are
age of
married,
10, you're an adult.
you're an adult.
Automatically, you have become an adult.
But
And
that really doesn't make sense.
that is ridiculous. So say a 2-year-old girl is married, she's an adult. And these are the conversations we need to have. Yes, there are now Child Rights Act and all those are protected. But what is the level of enforcement? We need to keep talking about it. Are people still prosecuted for, for marrying an underage girl? Those conversations still need to be had. And so that is why we have CSOs, NGOs that are advocating for these things. We have individuals that are advocating for these things. We have people that are making education, more available for children in rural areas, especially girl children. We have girls scholarship, but we need more. We need more. To everyone that is watching this, there is something that each of us can do. That each of us can do to make a difference. You can support girls' education by donating to organizations.
Yes, again, there are so many organizations, like you said, that support girls that are married early. Like I know of an organization in this Abuja. They've rescued girls from their marriage, from violent marriages, and they've even prosecuted the husbands. So I think if we see something, we can say something. If we see children being maltreated in their marriage, instead of going there to go and fight, you can call on NAPTIP. That's what they do. You can call NAPTIP, or you can call these people. I've forgotten their names. I think I'll get their names across to you. Then just report it. I think the necessary authorities.
Yes,
and
that conversation is one of the things that is also an issue. Is when we see issues, we're like, it's not my business.
It's not my business.
It's not my business. That's not my child. I don't know them. I'm not interfering.
I mean,
here.
Of course, neighbors will be like, now their parents carry them, give out for marriage, concern.
Even when you
but
hear
really, that's so sad.
A man that is beating his wife or a woman that is being molested, everybody is just about their business.
It's a normal thing.
It's a normal thing.
Now husband and wife fights.
But we need
boyfriend
I
and
think as
girlfriend
Nigerians,
fights.
we need to do better.
Yes, and we also need to realize that it's a joint effort.
Yeah.
If we want to see the kind of change that we are looking out for, we need to advocate for policies that protect girls and their rights.
Because we will not wait for the government to do everything for us.
Yeah.
At least individually, we should
Advocacy,
try our
support,
best to help the smallest way that we can.
We can, and one very important thing is mentorship. We need to mentor young girls. A lot of young girls in rural areas, especially.
Yes, they need to know. They need
knowledge.
to know. They need to be aware.
They don't have access to mentorship.
Yeah.
They don't have access to women that are doing. They can only see. That is why.
Imagine a 12-year-old girl telling us that her mates are married. So she's being seen as she's cursed or something for taking too long to get married.
She feels like she's delayed.
Yes, she feels delayed. Like,
because
I'd be like, don't you want to go to school?
Because that's what she can see.
Yes, I'll pay for your education. That she wants to get married. Her mates, her peers are already married. giving birth in their husband's house and suffering.
At 12.
At 12. Suffering. I think the day the day her parents came for her, she was, before you say Jack, she has gone to pack her things. She was happy. Like they found a man for her.
And
so she wants to go, and her life starts. That's when her life starts. Her life just started. She wants to go and get married.
As a wife, at 12.
Yes, wife.
And this is why
what does she know?
We need to mentor. We need to be available.
This girl can barely cook. She can't cook. She has broken most plates in the house because she's a child.
She's a child. I mean, a 12-year-old is a child.
Then you give her to a 30-year-old man to marry. The man wants to kill her for all those, thinking she's supposed to know. She's supposed to be matured automatically. She's a child. And
that's why we need help. We need mentorship. We need more people to advocate for these things. We need more people that are committed to this cause.
Yeah.
We need people that are speaking, to these issues. You are in a place of power. You get into government. These are things we need to advocate for. And even as citizens, we also need to advocate for these things. And we all have a role to play in creating a world where girls can succeed. Together we can help ensure that every girl has the chance to go to school, stay safe, and build the future that she dreams of.
Every girl has the right as sisters.
Now, so as we
others.
Exactly, no discrimination.
Yeah.
And as we wrap up this important conversation, I would like you to, I'd like to ask you, each of you, to share the vision, your own personal vision for the future of girls in Nigeria. What changes do you believe are most critical to ensuring that girls can achieve their full potential? Just in a minute, just share what your own personal vision from your own perspective for the girl child is. Falilat.
Well, I think if we, especially the rural areas, if we can, like I said, let the children, the girls there be aware. Let them be aware. Okay, where they are living right now, they only know that, okay, this is what works. This is my culture. They don't know anything apart from what is already happening there. But if you can dim the light, if you can show them the light a little, that okay, outside, if you go outside in the urban area, girls like you have rights to go to school. Girls like you have rights. There are other ways that you can protect yourself when you are in your period. There's other way you can pack it up and still go to school. Enlighten them. Very in a situation whereby you see a girl a lady becoming the president of Nigeria tomorrow, it won't be bad. But they said no. They will say no, that this girl, I cannot bow down. You cannot tell me what to do. I had a cleaner one time, and the guy said that I cannot tell him what to do because I am a girl. That he can marry my type in the house because I'm a girl.
Conversations.
Yes, exactly.
Enlightenment.
Enlightenment. That's alone. It matters a lot. Keyword enlightenment. And we as individuals should not wait for the government to say, or wait for other NGOs or support groups to come and tell us what to do. You can see something there and just, okay, since I cannot help like this, let me call the necessary authorities. Then you lead them to that place. Individual action. You lead them to that place. Solid. If we do that, you see that poverty mentality, we'll curb it a little. Even if we cannot curb it totally, but it will
individual
reduce.
Action. Solid solution. Alexandra?
I think our parents also need to educate us. Tell us that, this is this is that. Because without our parents, our parents, families, friends, we need to tell ourselves the truth.
What if your parents you are expecting to educate you are not aware?
That's why I said families. That's why I said parents, families, friends. Because you are my friend. I can't see your child going through something and then I'll be like, if your mom doesn't advise you, I should be able to step in and give you the advice that you need.
We cannot underestimate the place of the society, because it is the family that makes the society.
Exactly. Unlike when we're growing up, we were like na community pikin be this. No be my mother go train me.
They used to say now one person carry the belle,
but now all of
everybody
us
they take care of the pikin.
Exactly. So I think that
community efforts.
Exactly. I think that too will help us a lot.
Solid. I remember a friend told me that one of the things that made her very courageous is because her dad used to tell her, if you can talk to me, If you can
You
face
can't-
me and tell me your ideas,
My dad used to say
you
that
should
a
be able
lot.
to
Don't be
face
scared of
anybody.
anybody.
Exactly.
As long as you are
And
not being
I-
rude, you are not insulting the person.
And,
That
sorry.
is why he made himself accessible and available to us. There was a day I was talking to him and I called him by his name. We were just having a discussion. I said he said something like a lie, and I said, Mr. Adamu, you can lie, shall. So one of my teacher was passing, he was coming towards us, and I said, Are you all right? You're calling your father by his name? Are you all right? My father countered him immediately, like, stop it. What is my name? He didn't name me daddy when they gave birth to me. Please, don't try it. I want my child to be able to talk to me. She wasn't rude, she wasn't but I know where to draw the line. You get it?
Yes.
But I know when to talk to my dad. If I'm scared, you see a father coming home and the children are, daddy's coming, they are looking for where to run to. The another person outside will now want to talk to you, something that you know that it is your right, then you will be doing like this, because even at home you are being scared of your parents.
I mean,
charity they say begins
at
And I also feel like parents should minimize the number of people, friends, they let their children call uncle. Not be everybody be your uncle.
and auntie.
And not be everybody be your auntie. Let us be mindful, because those uncles, the children are, when they do, when they violate them, they are scared. They can't tell you because they feel like that is my uncle. That's my best friend. That's my this, and
you won't tell me.
So sad.
It is. These are very crucial conversations, and we just have to keep talking about it.
Yeah.
We have to keep playing our part and ensuring that the world is easier and more friendly, a better climate for the girl to live in. Yeah. And personally, my vision for the girl is simple. I hope for a world where girls are able to pursue their dreams, where there are no barriers to what they can become, irrespective of their gender. If I had a superpower, it would be to ensure that all the barriers, violence, discrimination, poverty, in the way of girls are taken away.
You don't have a superpower.
I wish I did. Are taken away, and
we all wish we did.
And girls can stand and be able to achieve their dreams. And I am so sad to be bringing this episode to a close. But thank you for joining us today.
Yeah.
Falilat and Alexandra, and thank you, viewers.
Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for coming. Remember that we all have a role to play.
Yeah.
You all have a role to play. For girls to be able to live a good life, we can all ensure to do our part to ensure that our girl children are empowered and they have all that it takes to lead a future for the betterment of the society and the nation at large. Thank you, and join us next week for another exciting episode of Tab with CHRICED. Bye.
Accountability Banter with CHRICED. Bye.